Podcast. This is happening right now in Kenya, in the Mara Triangle. We're following one of the lionesses from the Angama pride. Now, it's not uncommon for her to move off and try and hunt on her own. We actually watched them this morning make a number of different attempts trying to catch some prey, and they've been at it all night, but sadly, no cigar just yet. But hopefully, the perseverance and the patience that lions do have will eventually pay off. I must tell you that she actually even just spotted a porcupine just a couple of minutes ago, and she had a look at it and she thought, oh, that's going to get myself into a very prickly situation, and she made the right thing, the right call. She's moved off. So we are now going to keep following her. We're going to drive very, very slowly, and we're in infrared at the moment, so this light is not affecting her. The wildebeest won't know that she's there. It's pitch black around us. How exciting is that? I think she might cross a drainage line as well, but she's heading towards lots and lots and lots of eyes, which I suspect are from the wildebeest and zebra. I could just hear the wildebeest calling in the distance. But how exciting is this? Now, it is live, like I said, so if you'd like to have a chat with me or ask any questions, you're welcome to comment away, and I'll look forward to answering some of the questions that you all have. Now, she's quite a distance off from those wildebeest, so we're just going to try and go around. I don't want to go too quickly. Let me stop here and we'll just take a little break. See how she's also stopping? Very important that she, of course, listens. It's one of the most important senses. Now, they can see very well at night, much better than you and I can. Like I said, I can see absolutely nothing. Just a couple of stars in the sky. It is pitch black. And I am the only car out here. Can you believe it? No one else is allowed to drive around out here at night, but we have got special permission. And it is a huge area. There we go. Now this is very typical of lions. See how she's just resting up just behind a shrub there? Doesn't mean that she's not hunting. She's just taking her time, and that's very important. Now, Melissa, as I'm going to drive forward, I'm going to answer this question for you. You're wondering if I'm afraid out here. No, I'm actually not afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of, because the animals don't want to eat me at all. They're not worried about me whatsoever. I'm completely sort of neutral to them. They've been interacting with the vehicles for a very, very, very long time. Look at that. How she's just popping her head over. We'll stop here again and see what she does. So we keep an eye out on them, of course. But no, not worried at all. It's a bit dark. So if you're a bit afraid of the dark, then this probably wouldn't be the place for you. And it is important that we do sit in darkness out here. Like I said, if we put the lights on her now, those wildebeest will know that something's up. They know that there will be a predator on the way to them. So that's what's so great, that we've got these cameras that allow us, and we can view these animals without interfering in their hunting experience. Now, Jessie, you're wondering if she's hunting alone? She is. So the Agama pride consists of 3 lionesses. Oh, something's got her attention. Here's a prick. Did you see how she jumped forward there? Right, so I think VM, who's on camera with me today, he was just quickly having a quick look at the settings. So that was just a different change of light. There was the low light there, but we're back in infrared. There we go. She's up again, making her next move. Off she goes again. So she, from what I can understand, I'm still trying to learn the dynamics of the various lion prides in this area. I've only just arrived in the Mara Triangle, and it's quite interesting. I watched her do exactly the same thing this morning. The other 2 lionesses seem to work together, and she goes off and she does her own thing. I think she's the lioness with the youngest cubs of the pride too. There's quite a number of them of various ages. So let's see what she gets up to. Now, theoretically, they work better as a team. You know, I always say this, 2 heads are better than 1. If you've got 3, well, that's fantastic. But she seems to think otherwise. Now, if she does catch something, they're all going to come down here. It doesn't matter if the other 2 weren't a part of this hunt. She's still going to come through. And while you wait for her to pop on the other side, I'm actually going to do a quick scan. Just see if those other lionesses are maybe coming this way. Don't think so, though. We are surrounded by wildebeest at the moment. There's wildebeest on my left. There's wildebeest in front of me. There's wildebeest on my right. And you'll see them in a moment. I think she's using the shrub. She's moved right to the end of the drainage line, which is a very clever idea. because there are very few shrubs out in the open and the grass has been grazed so short that she would have to creep on her belly if she wanted to get any closer to them. So this is a very good tactic. And it also allows her to move a little bit quicker. Obviously, leopard crawling, you don't go anywhere very quickly. And I just love that she's taking her time, not rushing into it. Remember, lions use stealth. They don't have stamina. They can't run for very fast for a very long distance. It's very important that they get as close to their prey as possible if they want to have the best chance of taking it down. So I'm trying to think how many attempts I've seen this pride make today since this morning. They must be on about 5 or 6 now, 6 attempts, and they haven't been successful. So hopefully she's learnt from her mistakes that she's made this morning, and she's going to try something different. Now, lions, of course, have the upper hand at night, as do most of the other predators, is because they can see better than their prey species. A wildebeest, zebra, their diurnal zebra have got unbelievable eyesight during the day, but it's not up to scratch at night. There we go, doing a big yawn. So she can see them. She's also downwind of those wildebeest and zebra, which is great. And it also means that she can move a bit quicker. So now she's got the shrubs in her favor, she's got the wind, and she's got the cover of darkness. She should have a good chance. This will be very, very exciting. And it's going to be really, really amazing. I'm going to be very impressed with these cats because they've put so much effort in today. They really have tried so hard. So it's not easy for the predators out here. A lot of people always like to think, oh, the big cats, you know, it's very sad that, of course, they're taking down these prey items. But I promise you, it's not like they don't put a lot of effort into it. They really put their heart and soul into a hunt. Just taking a little rest again, trying to spot the best chance or the best animal that she can find. How great is this? Now, what could also happen is, like I said, hunts don't just happen straight away. She could sit down. She could even sit for 10 or 15 minutes. Just relax. Just take her time before she gets up and she makes another move and edges closer. The wildebeest are very chatty tonight. It's quite dark out here, so they're probably a little bit panicked, and it's quite typical at night for the winds to pick up down in the valley. We're basically right below the Angama Mara camp. It's just up on the escarpment. It's absolutely beautiful. And I can see the camp from the distance. We're not very far away. And there she sits. Now, I believe a couple of you are asking how far away is this lioness from the wildebeest? Well, I'm not going to put my light on her. I'm going to have another scan because she keeps moving. I just want to check, okay? I've seen lots of eyes. She is about, we're actually going to show you as well. See them there? That's them there. I would say she must be about between 50 and 70 meters away from that herd of wildebeest. See there? It's just on the other side. So, and that's why she's taking her time, because you can imagine we are moving around. Obviously, we're making a little bit of noise. We're not interfering in this at all, because these wildebeest and these lions are so used to the cars. That's one thing to remember. We're also not putting ourselves between her and the animals. We are hanging back. So we are allowing her to do her normal thing. She can go out and hunt, and we'll sit quietly. We can't off-road in this particular area. We're actually right on the edge of where we can go and off-road. Let's see if she crosses that drainage line that you can see just in front of her. Then that means we can follow her wherever she goes. We have to stick to the road here, but that's okay. It's so flat and it's so open that it does allow us to see for miles and miles, especially during the day. Obviously at night it's slightly different. But she's keen. She's definitely keen. Now, Kathy, you've said you're wondering if we'd be able to hear the wildebeest. Of course you can. Have a little listen. Turn your volumes up. Bit too windy, I think, tonight. So the wildebeest that we're looking at the moment aren't the ones that are making the noise. So they don't know that anything's up. There's a lot of chatter with the wildebeest herds in the distance. So what seems to happen in this area is the wildebeest come out into the middle of the plains and head closer towards the river to graze throughout the day. Of course, they're always chasing the rain. So if there's big rain somewhere, they're going to get on the move and they're going to move right out of this area. Here today, gone tomorrow. That's literally how it works out here with the Great Migration that happens at this time of the year. However, we'll have to just wait and see if she does make a chase. If she does, she gets lucky, and I think I've got such a good feeling about tonight. Like I said, they put so much effort into it. Something's got to go her way. If she does make a kill and she is successful, we will definitely be able to hear the wildebeest. So, Kathy, stay tuned, because I promise you, even though she doesn't look like she's looking at the wildebeest right now, I promise you she has not forgotten them. She's just seeing if there's any other opportunities around her. She knows. Can't put all your eggs in one basket. You've got to see what else is around there. Because if she makes a missed attempt, she's going to have to come back. They have to make a kill tonight. Ideally, they want to. They're using so much energy every time they get up and they're on the move. They're constantly burning valuable fat resources. And for a lion, they can't afford to do that. They need to eat regularly. It's exhausting when they do go out and make these attempts. And they've been relaxing the entire day. They sat down at it must have been about 8:30. And they've been sleeping pretty much the entire day until about an hour ago, where they started getting up, they started moving around, they chased the wildebeest once, and then they came back. All the cubs came out, they regrouped, they said hello to one another, and this lioness said, I'm done, I have had enough of that, I'm going off, I'm going to get myself some dinner. She is determined, and I think Lady Luck could be on her side tonight. But it is dangerous. I always stress this when we sit and we watch big cats stalking prey. It's not easy for her either. You must remember those wildebeest have got horns, they've got hooves. The zebra, very sharp teeth. If any of you know anything about horses, have been around horses and had the unfortunate getting bitten by a horse, can you imagine? It's not very nice. Very sharp teeth, or even being kicked by a horse. It's the same thing with a zebra. Now, zebras are very stocky. You can imagine, it can hurt you, it can break your leg, it could quite easily break a lion's jaw. Or those sharp horns of a wildebeest could tear into that lioness too. And she's got young cubs, so she is putting her life on the line tonight. She knows she has to keep those cubs well fed, otherwise they could fall victim to the very, very harsh way of dying. It's never nice, malnutrition, and that's a reality out here. She won't be able to produce milk. Hello, Ali, you've just joined us. Welcome. So glad that you popped in this evening. We're sitting with the Angama Pride. We've just got one lioness at the moment. The other two and the rest of the cubs are off into the distance. And she seems very, very keen on wildebeest. She's actually traveled a huge distance in just a couple of minutes. It's honestly amazing how these cats can move when they want to move. So she's looking back around again. Now, as she's staring into this herd, whether she can see each individual, I'm not so sure, because like I said, it's quite a distance away and it is dark. Their eyesight is much better than ours. She's trying to find the best, well, not the best wildebeest. She's trying to find one that's slightly sort of weakened, or the one that she thinks she's going to have the best opportunity to catch. And there's a couple of them sitting down too. That works in her favor. They will take time to get up, to run away if she does go charging over. Let's see what happens. Now, a question, or not a question, a comment and a question from Michelle. You said that you've heard that animals can sense things around them, and you're wondering if I think that the wildebeest know that there's something around. Well, that's an interesting one. You know what? It's really tough as well. As tough as what it is for a lion or a leopard or a cheetah, wild dogs, hyena, you name it. It's even worse for something like a wildebeest, because that's what the lions are mainly feeding on now at this time of the year, and of course the zebra too. So I think they're constantly looking over their shoulder. I mean, it's middle of the night, dark, can't really see what's going on around you. It's windy, so now they really are stressed, these animals. I wouldn't be able to sleep if I was a wildebeest at night. They can't hear very well. The scents are all blowing around in circles. They won't know which way a scent is coming, but I think there isn't much of a swirling wind at the moment. It seems to be quite a steady wind. Let's see. Are you going down closer towards that drainage line? I mean, this is the second time I've seen these lions today, And I'm already noticing a trend with this female. She's using the same sort of routes. Apparently they like to stay around this particularly big drainage line. Now, out here they call drainage lines luggers. I'm not sure. I don't think it's Swahili. It's something out. There's many different dialects out here. I'm not sure which dialect it is. And she utilizes them, and it's so important because even if she were to go down in that drainage line, and that's actually what she did this morning. Let's quickly recap on what she did this morning. She went down into the drainage line. There was a wildebeest, or a couple of wildebeest that were crossing through it. And I think she was hoping to get underneath them and then charge straight up and almost surprise that wildebeest from down below and then try and grab it. But unfortunately, she was not quick enough. She was outsmarted by the wildebeest. But now she's completely alone. And she's got the wind on her side. This morning she didn't have wind. It was very still. Just listening to those wildebeest all calling in the distance. Doesn't quite sound like alarm calls either. I think it's just chatter amongst them. Now, Kim, you're wondering if lions specifically hunt at night because they have better eyesight. They have a better chance, of course, hunting at night. Definitely the chances increase. And again, every single night there's wind down in this valley, so it does help to their advantage. The cats, you often see the cats even if it's very hot now. A lot of the times people don't think that the cats will hunt in the heat of the day, but if the opportunity is there, they will take it. They're opportunistic feeders. They don't say no. They make sure that they take any opportunity that they get, because it could be a meal that they could have caught, and if they miss it, who knows when they're going to get another one. Or have a listen, the hyenas are calling. Isn't that a very eerie call to hear in the middle of the night? Now, I promise you, if all of you were sitting with me right now, that would have sent shivers down your spine. Now, she's not worried. She barely reacted to those hyenas. There are hyenas everywhere. I've seen so many today. The clans are massive. Now, the only problem is, of course, if she makes a kill and those hyenas come in, they could potentially steal the kill from her, unless the other lionesses come in and, of course, help. Now, Jeff, you said that she's got a lot of patience. She does indeed. And I say this probably about 1,000 times a week, if not even more, especially while we're doing the live drives, how important patience is. And it was one of the things that I had to learn straight away, is that you need to sit, you need to relax, you need to spend time with the animals, because anything can happen at any time. And she knows the same thing. She knows if she rushes in, she's going to ruin her chance, and she's going to be on her 7th attempt. Will she have enough energy to keep going through the night, or will she have to go back and have another rest? She can't afford to do that, not with such young cubs. Like I said earlier, they're still suckling. So she constantly needs to keep feeding so she can still keep producing milk. Those youngsters will be feeding on the carcass too, but they're still getting a lot of their nutrients from the milk. Now, Julie, you've actually just asked if the babies are there. Not here, not with her now. They must be about a mile away or so, I would say, sort of further southeast of where we are at the moment. Again, on the drainage line, she stashes them around. There's quite a few termite mounds, some shrubs. They need to stay hidden. I also have to tell you, I did hear another pride of lions, a rival pride of lions, calling in the distance too, maybe about 3 or 4 miles away from the Angama pride further down on the river. And I'm quite happy that they changed the direction in their hunt and they moved further west rather than heading all the way to the east. She's looking straight at us. I wonder what she's heard this way. Now, an interesting question from Sandy, and that is, because she's hunting at night, if she makes a kill, will there be a greater chance of a male lion or hyenas hearing that and coming in and stealing it versus during the day? Well, the animals are very active here at the moment, obviously because there's so much food around, so they can be active. The hyenas are out and about all the time. Of course, this is the prime time for most of the predators to get active. So it's a tough one. I think either way, during the day, they'd hear it just as much as night. Remember, the wind is here too. So the animals that are going to be downwind of her would probably hear the distress calls of a wildebeest or a zebra better than the ones that are going to be upwind of where she makes that kill. So it sounds like she's actually a little bit lucky tonight, because it sounds like where the hyenas are, they're further sort of northeast of where we are at the moment. So if something does happen, maybe they won't hear it, but they've also got such keen senses. Those hyenas are incredible. They're great hunters, don't get me wrong. They don't just scavenge, but they are specialist scavengers. And if there's only one or two of them, they might try and come in and take it from her. The big clans of hyenas do a lot of hunting out here. But again, it's less energy to steal a kill away from a single lioness than it is to bring down one on your own. So why would you not do something like that? So we'll just have to see. I think there's a lot of conflict constantly between the various predators in this area. Between cheetah, obviously hunting predominantly during the day, but not, and they often hunt at full moon and at sunset too. I've seen many cheetah feeding on things right just as the sun has set. And they get chased away by vultures. And jackals sometimes come in and be quite sneaky, but big, sort of flocks of vultures will come in and push a cheetah off its kill. Now, vultures can't do that to a lion. The lions will not stand for something like that. But again, big clans of hyena. Yep, male lions. There's many youngsters around here that haven't quite got territory set up. They're still a little bit on the young side, and they will come in and take a kill from her. Now, Reza, you're wondering, why does she keep looking in our direction? You say it's so scary. Don't worry, I promise you we are safe. So where we're positioned, basically just past us, like I said, about a mile away, and that's where the rest of the pride is, or that's where she's left her cubs. So I think she's constantly just making sure, looking back. Those cubs are obviously quite vulnerable when they're left on their own, because I don't know if those other two lionesses stayed with her. Well, she's coming back towards us again. I wonder what's going through this lioness's mind. Is she going to maybe change her route? Maybe she's going to come around us and try a different tactic. We all get gut feelings. Maybe she's just gone, this is not a good idea. Maybe I need to try something else to get a good opportunity. Let's see where she goes. And this is what's so amazing. And I think she's going to come right past us. I'm trying to figure out where she's. Like I said, it's pitch black. I'm looking on a monitor to actually see what's happening right now. Otherwise, I can't see anything out here. She could be anywhere. Now, Bobby, you're wondering if I think that this lioness can see the IR. No, they can't see the infrared light. That's why it's so great. It doesn't affect them at all, which is really nice. Where is she gone? I'm just trying to... Have you got her? No. We're just trying to figure out where she's gone again. She's behind us now. Oh, there she is. Okay, let me turn around. Now, I just need to make sure we don't reverse into any trees. Like I said, I haven't got a light on. I might actually have to use my spotlight just to reverse. Don't know why she's turned like that. There must be a reason for it. Right. Now, Dory, you're wondering if this lioness would have used my car as a shield during a hunt. I've seen lions doing it before. Whether she would, I'm not so sure. There's enough cover for her around here. So I don't think it's necessary. And also, I haven't put myself between her and the animals, so she wouldn't really be able to use me very, very well. And I'm so far away. Again, she's just coming onto the road again. I'm going to stop here just for a moment. We'll just watch her. She's heading straight back in the direction now of where she left those cubs. So I wonder if she didn't get an uneasy feeling and she thought, I need to go back and check. There also was a very big hippopotamus moving around in the area. And I don't know if she would have been too worried about that. I think those cubs would be clever enough to get out of the way of one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. I don't think they'd be silly to try and take on something like that. Even she showed a little bit of interest in it at one point, but she moved on straight away. She sat down, she looked at it and she went, that animal's got a bigger mouth than me. and she walked right past it, and that's when she started beelining for all these wildebeest. But we'll follow her. If she takes us back to the cubs, that's exciting. Look, are those wildebeest back there? What are those? All those lights of a camp? Oh, okay. That's another camp back there. I just got excited. I thought maybe it was some wildebeest. So that's another camp situated on the escarpment. Right, let's continue. We'll carry on following her and see where she's going to take us. Right, so we're going to stick with her for a bit. I'm going to try and see where you're going. She's just up ahead. She's just over there. Now I'm not too worried about putting a spotlight on her. I'm scanning around. Maybe she's going to bump into that prickly situation she found herself in not too long ago, because that's where the porcupine was. Maybe she gives that another bash. We'll just keep going around. We're going to go just nice and slow. I'm going to start scanning for that porcupine now. I'm also going to start scanning for any other threats. Right. Now, Jeff, you're wondering if those hyenas that we heard calling would have made her wary and sort of changed her plans of actually hunting. No, I don't think so, because it was quite far away, and even though hyenas are definitely pose a threat and will kill lion cubs, I don't think they were going to necessarily come in this direction. See, they were upwind, so I don't even think they would have known the lions were here. They were contact calling earlier, the lions, but it's very, very soft. Again, I think the wind would have muffled it. I mean, you couldn't even hear the wildebeest, and we put our ambient sound on that normally picks up everything. So I think it would be all right. I'm going to just stop here and we'll watch her walk around the bend of the road again. And we'll just see what she does. There's also a lot of smaller antelope. I did see a reedbuck. Actually, a reedbuck was one of the reasons why they missed out on one of their hunts this morning. They were so close. They must have been about 10 feet from a huge herd of wildebeest. And they were sitting patiently waiting. And just as they were about to go, I think a reedbuck spotted the lions and got a fright and darted straight in front of the lions and between them and the wildebeest. And the wildebeest got the biggest fright and raced off. And I did see a couple of reedbuck lurking in the grass, not too far away from where the lions have actually, this lioness has left her cubs. So who knows? Maybe it's not going to be a wildebeest on the menu. Maybe she's going to have to take it down a notch and go for something slightly smaller. Going for something slightly smaller, though, doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be an easier hunt. But I'll tell you what's going to be a little bit easier is that reedbuck was on its own. Now, that's one pair of eyes, one pair of ears, one nose versus, well, that herd that she was going after. There must have been probably about 80 to 100 wildebeest around there in that just that small little pocket. So yes, you can imagine eyes and ears. She definitely would have a better chance and not being spotted and getting closer to her prey. So I'm just going to try and catch up to her. Now, Jamshid, you've said you've also just joined us. Welcome. I'm so glad. Well, and the question is, why is she not with a pride? So, again, just a reminder, this is Angama pride. There's 3 lionesses, and this lioness is known to go off on her own and do her own thing when it comes to hunting. That's exactly that. She has turned around, though. She's moving away from the wildebeest. But remember, we don't know what's going to pop out behind the next bush. There could be anything around here. She's taking us back towards her cubs, what it seems at the moment. But remember, the 2 other lionesses, I don't know what they've been up to. I didn't hear anything. Maybe she's heard contact calls that we just weren't able to hear. Maybe they've already made a kill somewhere else and she's heading back. Oh, bless you. She's just had a big sneeze. Now, that's the problem at this time of the year. There is a lot of dust around. Loads and loads of dust. So I suppose just like you and I get some allergies, she probably got a bit of a tickle up her nose too. Again, that's actually not a good thing that she sneezed, because if there's anything around that probably would have heard that. Who knows? Maybe she's disguised herself as a wildebeest, but we'll keep on going again. She's marching down that road now. Laura, well, I was going to say thank you, but you're complimenting the lioness. You said that she's looking really beautiful and lovely at the moment, and healthy, not lovely, but she's lovely too. She is in tip-top condition. It's good to see. Those cubs, you'll be happy to know those cubs have all got really big bellies, which is great. She doesn't necessarily have as big of a belly, but remember, not only is she up and down constantly searching for food, and she's made some failed attempts, those youngsters are suckling, so she's going to lose condition a lot quicker than those little ones. They're not really moving around, they're too young to join on the hunts, so they stay put and they're nice and fat, and that's really good. That makes me happy. But it's just amazing to see that drive within mother animals out here, and particularly with the big cats, how they will defend their youngsters and do almost anything to make sure that their little ones survive. She's just in front of us on the road again. We're not too far now. We must be about, I can't do it in feet because I'm horrible at the conversions. We must be about 100 meters, 150 meters away from where she left those youngsters. So I'll just switch off again. We'll just watch her walk until she goes around the next bend. I'm actually going to have a quick scan around and see if there's any... What did you say? What's that? Is that them? So VM said he's just seen a little eye. There we go. There's another lioness approaching. There we go. Oh, is that an adult or is it one of the juveniles? Let's see. Now, lions are such sociable creatures. This could be quite nice to really watch. Maybe she's coming back to discuss her plans. Maybe she just went on a recon mission. She's coming back. She's saying, listen, there's a whole herd of wildebeest behind her. I think we should do this. Remember, we can't understand what the animals are saying out here. Obviously, we know when various prey species like the wildebeest, zebra, or even the birds, squirrels, are alarming and they're alerting us of a predator, whether it be a lion, a leopard, a hyena, or even a raptor in the sky. Those are the types of things we can really only understand. The rest of it, we have no idea, and they definitely communicate through a lot of body language and, of course, these soft contact calls and roaring and all this type of thing. But let's keep going. Kathy, you may have stumped me here. You're wondering, how fast is this lioness walking right now? Unfortunately, my speedometer is not working, so I can't even tell you how I'm going. I would say she's going at about between 3 and 5 kilometers an hour. It's not a slow walk. Okay, here are the three. It looks like these are the three adults. Just going to stop. We'll watch, and then we'll make our next move. Yeah, these are the three adults. So this is now the entire Angama pride, the adults. Obviously, being very playful, of course, like I said, very sociable animals. This is so important. If they want to be successful hunters, they need to know exactly what each and every one of them are thinking without saying a word. Obviously, when you're out there in complete darkness, you can't sort of shout out, you can't make any sound, otherwise what you're hunting is going to know that you're there. So grooming each other, playing is so important. The more they do it, the better sort of connected they become. And look at that. Look how lovable they are. They do this every time they see each other. And she's only been gone about 15, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And it's as if she'd been gone for an entire year, that greeting. Another big yawn. See, I can hear more wildebeest on the other side of this drainage line. So they could change completely. Maybe we're going to go and do something else. This is absolutely incredible. Right, let's keep going. Now, my only concern, and I will be frank with you, is that if they cross this drainage line, we are going to find ourselves in a little bit of a tricky situation because we've got a long way to go all the way around. But let's hope they don't. Let's hope they take us back towards the cubs, and let's see what their next plan is going to sort of be. I don't think we're too far away now. And I'm constantly scanning around here, looking for hyenas, looking for anything. Sorry, VM, what did you say? Oh, the cubs there. VM said he spotted the cubs. Sorry, I'm concentrating on keeping the car on the road. So let me go up just a little bit further forward and get us in a nice spot. We're going to park near this lioness. I'm going to just duck so my head doesn't get in the way. Sort of the area where they left the little ones. So I can just see the two adults still. Where are the cubs? They're around here somewhere. We're not far off of them. Oh, there we go. Every now and then you're getting sort of glimmers of eyes. That's them. They're around there. Let me go around. Let's go around the corner. I'll get a nice view. We just sort of got to a bit of a thicket part, but I think it should open up. All those cubs coming right up. There's one. Hello. There's one little one. Now, I haven't actually seen the entire pride together out in the open, so I haven't even been able to count how many cubs I've seen. I've seen at least 5, though, but I'm sure that there are even more than that, and of various ages, too. That looks like one of the youngest, and that single lioness that likes to go off and hunt on her own, she's got the youngest cubs. They must only be a couple of months old. Maybe, I'm just taking a guess here. I've only seen them now at night. They look quite young, maybe between 3 and 5 months old. I'm going to take a big guess there, but somewhere around there. I'm still, of course, learning about all the prides and the different ages. Okay, let's make a move. Let's quickly go around. Let's get a nice view of these cats. We're going to pass one lioness on our left. She's just laying about now. She's just having a little break, and that's fine. Take as many breathers as you need. We want you to have the best chance. Now, she's just having a quick look at us. She's not particularly bothered. She's probably going to flop back down again, so we'll sneak past her. It always amazes me how these cats don't mind us at all. Oh, there they are. Okay, I'm just going to move forward. I want to find out, I saw one lioness, but I want to find out where there's the other, where she is with the cubs. Let me just quickly get another view. Good, get a view of her. Oh, they're in there. I see them there. Are we going to get a good view? Might be tricky. Let me see what I can pull out of my sleeve very quickly. I think if we go around this next, no, oh, here we go. Here's the lioness. I think if I just go around like this, we might be able to stare down. So there's one lioness. The cubs, unfortunately, are just off to the right, laying behind some of these thickets. But you can see what I mean, how good of a spot, a hidey hole this really is to stash your young cubs. They've got a drainage line, massive drainage line, and they can go down, and if they do get themselves in trouble, there's termite mounds as well. They can pop themselves on top, and of course with all the shrubbery around. It's a very good spot here. The wildebeest often graze right up to the edge of this drainage line, and that's why it is the perfect home for the Angama pride. They really don't need to go anywhere else until the wildebeest herds move off. Then hunting becomes even more tricky. But I think they have now settled down. I think they're going to take a rest. Very exciting though, very interesting. Watching all of this unfold this evening, isn't it? Now, I don't think that this is going to be the last of the Agama ladies. I suspect they might just take a breather, perhaps groom each other, fix the hair. And I think again. So we're going to say goodbye to you for now. However, keep an eye out for these Facebook Lives. Remember the notifications, because as soon as you see that notification, I look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully these girls will make a successful attempt. But for now, thank you for joining us. It's been absolutely fabulous, and well, I hope to see you again a little bit later.